going to build a beautiful mangrove barn with a little surprise inside. First I want to find a location for the barn. It needs a lot of space to fit large crop fields. I think next to my starter base here is perfect. But I'm going to have to terraform this area, so I have to get a lot of dirt. Now it is flatter and wider, so the barn is ready to be built. At least so I thought, because I hadn't only ran out of mangrove and mud, but I also needed materials that couldn't be acquired in this world. I would have to go below, and not in a cave, but into the nether. First I'm going to grab some quartz. Getting lots of it fast should be easy. But I also need warp blocks for the barn roof. These biomes aren't exactly common, and I only have a crimson forest here. So I picked a location and started exploring. One false move and all the progress I made grinding out enchanted tools will be for nothing. But as I was about to give up and change my roof to something boring, I saw something green in the distance. Finally I found the warped forest. Just in case you were wondering, I didn't die on the way back either. Now comes the grind for mangrove wood, but with an enchanted axe this should be easier now. Let's start with the foundation of the barn, a 9x13 area. I'm going to mix stripped mangrove wood with planks, but I'm also going to use some netherrack, but only close to the bottom where the build is more worn down. After 4 layers I'm going to add a nice jungle wood trim around the entire build. At the front side of the barn I actually want to build a spruce store. But this side here will be left open because I want to attach a windmill to it later on. On top of the stairs I'm going to place more mangrove wood, but no more netherrack. I'm also going to add a window here above the door with a little wooden crane. But then I ran into another problem. I brought the warp fungi home, but I hadn't actually farmed the wood yet. It is wood farming time and the ideal opportunity to get more spruce and jungle as well. Alright, now I can make the roof. It has a jungle trim in a curved roof style, which is what you typically see on barns. Then I can finally use that warped wood that gave me so much trouble to get. I think the barn already looks really nice and colorful, but it's going to take a lot more to make this build really stand out. It needs the windmill. But the windmill needs packed mud, and you get packed mud by combining wheat with regular mud in the crafting table. And I do not have any wheat because those cows were greedy. I told you I had plans to build a giant wheat field around the barn, so that time has come. I'm going to plant seeds everywhere until I have a big enough wheat field for all my mud needs. And while I was at it, I thought it was time to move my animal pens over to the barn and make it look more organic and animal friendly. Although I will eat those guys, I feel really bad. This took a lot longer than I expected because I also linked up some paths and decorated the area. The small details like placing coarse dirt and plants like a poppy next to the field adds so much detail. I also made this beautiful deep slide path in front of the barn, but it doesn't lead anywhere on this side, so it is time to change that. I finally have enough wheat to build that windmill. But we are going to start with a stone foundation and mix in some mossy and cracked bricks. Then I'll go 1 block inwards, and now I can finally use that mud I worked so hard for. I'm also going to add a tiny window and a jungle wood tower roof on top. Now for the windmill wheel. Remember when I mined lots of quartz in the nether? I'm going to need it to make the windmill wheel. I'm getting a ton of quartz with my fortune pick, and then I just need to turn it into smooth quartz blocks. I tried to make a very detailed wheel design as much as it was possible on this small scale, and I think using stairs and slabs made it curve really nicely. The windmill is done and it looks wonderful. Let's add the last finishing touches to the barn exterior. I added a small tower with a deep slate roof on top of the barn and some leaves growing down next to it. Then I noticed the roof looked too small for the height of the barn, so I used stairs and mud walls as little support blocks underneath, and it suddenly looked amazing. Remember when I said this barn will have a surprise inside? To acquire this surprise, I need to go on a little journey to this village here. Look at those peaceful villagers. I heard they find life here kinda boring, so I offered to take 2 of them home with me to raise a new generation of brave villagers, and in return, they will trade me all sorts of useful stuff. I just need to transport them back to my island. Sadly, the chest boat had to stay home this time. Now both of them will get a new home in my barn. I just need to make a little villager breeder setup in here. I found this super simple design by Roma GFX. You just need a little crop farm and then some trapdoors placed like this with beds on the other side so the babies will fall down. But don't worry, they will be safe. I know it worked because I tested it in my creative world and I forgot to close the game. Now the farm is ready and the villagers can check out their new home where they will finally get their dream job. Farmers! Now we can let them do their thing and hopefully we soon get to give more villagers a home here. This windmill barn looks amazing now that it is finished. Now watch me build villager houses or this other video on the screen. Thanks for watching! Bye!